Sabías?
Did you know?
Did you know? Did you know?
Hello, and welcome to LPKNC's Did You Know? My name is Jamal Givens, and this is...
Hi, I'm Heaven.
And we're here today to share with you about marijuana and vaping. The unfortunate part is a lot of parents don't know what a lot of these vaping devices look like. So we're going to take the opportunity in a little bit to share with you and show you actually what they look like so that you might be able to find these or see them with your young people in your family. But before we get into that, we do want to share some information with you about marijuana and vaping and some of the challenges with that. So, Heaven, you want to share some information?
So first I want to start off with, back in 1995, the THC levels in marijuana plants alone was about 3%. And now, since 2016, it's been rising from 13% and above. So we can even find 99% THC.
That is very true. Yeah, it's really crazy out there what's going on nowadays. I mean, a lot of the cartridges now. So a lot of young people aren't smoking the plant like Heaven was sharing, which really smells really gives out that smell that people have been smoking marijuana. But with a lot of these vaporizers and pens, you don't smell anything, or if you do, it might be fruity because of the different things that they're using to kind of mask the smell. But vaporizers a lot of times just don't give off any scent in general. And so
something to piggyback off that, like you sharing that some of the smells might be fruity. Those smells are specifically targeted towards youth because there's no adult that's interested in a bubblegum flavor or cherry flavor, fruit punch, Kool-Aid, Starburst. No, it's all targeted for youth because they're the main customers for these types of products.
That's so true. And so the other thing to think about, Heaven was sharing, is that with these concentrates, so the concentrates are a liquid form, and the thing that's really scary about it is that a lot of times people don't even know what's in the juice. So it's called juice, or in the cartridges or the carts. And a lot of times what ends up happening is that people are getting these off the streets, and even sometimes from dispensaries, they'll tell you that it's a certain amount of THC level in there. So it might be 8%, 12%, 30%, 81%. We just found one in a school system where the cartridge had 81% THC. 81% THC. So this marijuana is not the marijuana that used to be smoked just purely back in the day, especially when we're looking at these concentrates. So the other thing is that you don't know what's actually in them because it's not regulated federally. It's not regulated at all. Yeah, a dispensary can tell you, yeah, it's only 10% in there. How do you know? They say that they tested it. Some will say that they do. Some say they do but don't. And so that's why we're really concerned for our young people, and we want you parents to know what's out there and what's kind of going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Heaven take an opportunity to share with you about some of these different devices and let you guys see what they're really all about, so you know how to maybe try to find them and talk with your young people about these things.
So this right here is a vape pen. On here it says the name is Wonka oil. That alone says that it's sweet, and things like this can easily be hidden, and in most of the schools, teens also hide them in their sleeves to be able to use it in class. So that's one. This one right here looks like a clicker, or it could be a little remote maybe. Can't really tell what that is, right? This one kind of looks like a USB. We're showing these because a lot of these don't look like they would, like this. A lot of them don't look like they would be a vape product. This alone looks like a flashlight. No light there. And this one, we have the USB port here. This one's a little heavier. We actually heard from a detective a few days ago sharing how they make this oil, and you see how dark that is? It's just as bad as the oil that we have in our cars and has as much chemicals and just as bad for us to inhale. Another one of these. A much thinner pen and lighter pen than this one. And let's take a look at this one. It says mojito flavor and 1 gram. It also has an alien on it. Alien on here, throwing up the peace sign. The alien is used as a lighthearted character to target youth and attract them. Then we have another here, which is Tahoe OG. And this one is dark on the end, so I'm guessing it's been used. This one looks a little new. And then this one is the same thing as these two cartridges, and it's empty. So this one definitely was used by a youth who was caught in the schools. So remember, they're starting to use early as middle school ages, so begin talking to your youth now. So now I'd like to show you how it works. With this being on here, it means it's being used to charge at the moment. And then it's also, not this one. This one, nope, it was this one. This one, there's 2 ways that it can be charged. So it has the port to be able to plug in with the cord, but then it can also be connected with the USB. So now let's take a moment to look at this one specifically. So we have the USB here, and then it also has a port here that a plug would be used to charge. So there's those 2 ways it can be charged. And then after is when the cartridge of oil is connected. Oh, there we go. Not a professional here, but it's then connected and then used. The button, connect, inhale. Let's look at this box here. It says 1 cartridge THC, West Coast Pure from California. The flavor is grape gas made with sauce. Don't know what that means, but. And then it has a few cartridges in here. They're all empty, meaning it was used again. Now let's look at this one. This one's a little different from these cartridges. This is where the oil would be. And to me it kind of looks like those things that we use to connect our cars. Not sure what it's called, but does not look safe for our youth to be inhaling.
So thank you, Heaven, for showing us these different carts, as they may be called, with the mojito aliens and the vape pens themselves that look like just regular, just pens themselves. Mm-hmm. And this looks like a remote, like you said, and then the USB drive. And then, of course, you can't miss this one.
It's heavy.
Super heavy and big. But, again, the reason that we wanted to come and share this with you all was to remind you to talk to your young people about this. Especially those of you who don't think that your young people would use. Mm-hmm. Those sometimes are the people that are using. And so regardless if you think they will or they will not, talk with them.
Yes, and remind them of the dangers, especially since their brains are still in development. It's good to start the conversations now. Exactly.
The earlier, the better.
Yes.
Believe me, one of the things that we've been finding out is that parents didn't think that their kids would do it. And those are the kids that are doing it. Mm-hmm. They're sometimes being peer pressured into it, and you would think that your kid would not, but sometimes they can be, because sometimes they don't recognize and know that the THC levels in them. That's the other thing you want to warn them about, is that some kids at school could be saying like, oh, this is just nicotine, man, just take a hit of this, but it's actually marijuana, THC, at a 26% THC level, and your kid hits it, and the next thing you know, they're like just out of commission because they're not used to taking that stuff or using it at all. So you really need to talk with your kids. This is going on across the nation right now.
Exactly.
It's a huge issue.
And even just reminding them, they don't even know where they got it from or where their friends might have got it. Off the streets, dispensaries, none of it is regulated.
So it's very important that you talk with your young people. So we just wanted to come and share with you all a little bit of information about what we've been learning and what we've actually been seeing in schools and hearing from superintendents across Pima County to let you all know that this is going on and it's happening within our community. So talk with your kids, let them know not to use it. So this is Jamal Givens and
Heaven.
So we just want to say thank you and thank you for watching. Did you know?
Bye.
Well, now you know.